Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. Well, we're still here at Quartzsite, Arizona, getting ready to wrap up our time here. We're going to be heading on and moving on. But for now, we figured we'd take some time during this video to talk to you about some stuff that happened while we were here.
Yeah.
When you're out full time, and one of the things you really need to be thinking about, and I know it caught us by surprise, is are you ready if an unexpected emergency comes up?
Yeah.
Because we had a unexpected emergency, as I know many of you out there know about it. But it came up and we weren't ready for it.
We didn't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm telling you what, I appreciate the YouTube community because there was so many people out there that really reached out, that really helped us, and we really, really do appreciate it.
Yes.
Some people, I don't know what we would have done if they hadn't been there. But it started like a normal day. This was
Yeah.
back in January. Terry was feeling fine,
Yeah. I was a
and
little tired.
she had been a little bit tired for a few days.
Yeah.
Nothing, we just kind of figure, well, working and doing all kinds of things out here.
Yeah.
It just maybe she was just getting tired. So we had lunch that day, and then right after lunch, she started having really, really bad pain in the lower back.
My lower back. So I took
Okay.
some Motrin though, and that
So
and that because I had to work, and
yeah,
that seemed like it was working, but it was just like that little bit of pain that was left there. So it was kind of, I didn't know what that was really.
as the day went, it kept getting worse and worse and worse. Finally, early in the afternoon, when you try to figure about lunchtime, around 11 or 12 o'clock, probably about 3 o'clock or so, it got to the point she couldn't even hardly move.
Yeah. It moved
So
to the front of my stomach a little bit too in that same area.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we decided, hey, she needs to go to the doctor. That's one thing you need to think about because we're out here in Quartzsite, in the middle of the desert.
And there's no facilities
Yeah,
here.
there's no medical facilities around here. Um, so you either got a choice. You can go a little bit to the west here, back into California and Blythe, which is 25 miles.
Right, right.
They have a hospital there, or you can go up north to Parker, which is about
40, 30 or 40 miles
30,
away.
yeah, I think it's more like 30, 35 miles. And then they have a small hospital, from what I understand. Not to mention that same day, the main highway 95 that goes up to Parker, it was a really bad accident up there that involved an RV, as what I understood, and a couple of other vehicles, I think. But basically, that highway was shut down
To Parker, to
to
get to
to get
Parker.
to Parker. So there was that really kind of closed off that option. So we decided to go back west over to Blythe. Checked into the hospital there
Around 4.
about 4 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
In
That's
the
how
in the
quick,
emergency room.
from lunch to 4 o'clock. Very
Oh, it was probably 5 o'clock here though.
5 o'clock here. That's right,
Yeah.
because going into Blythe, it goes back an hour
It does, yeah.
into a Pacific time zone.
Yeah.
So 5 o'clock our time, from lunchtime to 5. That's how bad it had progressed for her.
Right.
Very small hospital.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just
we sat
I've
in.
seen clinics bigger.
Yeah, we sat in the waiting room of the ER for an hour and a half before they even triaged her, took her back, and
Right.
took her vital signs and things like
And
that.
by that time I was freezing to death. I could
Freezing.
not get warm.
Yeah, so
I
they
had
gave her a blanket.
Yeah, he gave me 2 sweatshirts. I had a blanket. I was just like miserable.
Yeah, and so then we sat there, and then 5 hours after we got there, we were still waiting in the waiting room. Um, but then she started getting to the point that she was so bad she started throwing up.
Yeah.
So she was going down. Once she did that, they finally took her back.
And put me in a wheelchair at first because there were no beds. They only had 7 beds in this little triage area kind of place. I don't know. It's their emergency room, but it's very tiny.
Yeah, so they put her in there, and
And he couldn't come back with me at first.
yeah, so we were back there for a little while, and they were doing all kinds of tests and
Yeah,
running,
they
and
did some CAT scans and X-rays. They took a ton of blood. They put the IV in me
yeah,
and gave me fluids because I was getting really loopy.
yeah. And so one other thing that we're really not prepared for, because it got to be, I think it was midnight there.
Yes.
And of course we have dogs. We have 2 older dogs here. We weren't prepared for that. We had the dogs. They stayed here. They've been here, we used to go to work all day and stay in there, but it was getting pretty long. So I figured, hey, I need to come back, check on the dogs, and maybe get a couple hours sleep.
Yeah, because I was kind of, okay. They'd given me some pain medicine, and I was just, waiting. I hadn't seen the doctor yet.
Yeah. So I came back to here, and when I got back to the RV, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. So I checked on the dogs, hung out with them, and I went to lay down. I was going to get a couple hours sleep. Then not even a couple hours later, I got a text message from her, and they said, "Hey, my blood pressure's dropping. They're saying I'm in septic shock and possible renal failure." So I said, "Boom, I'm on my way back."
Yeah.
So I headed back.
And I didn't know what any of those words meant. I had no way to figure out what they meant.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't feel good, I felt
So,
terrible.
so I know I bolted back, and then I
Yeah.
got back, and her blood pressure was tanking down.
Yeah.
I think
The
looking back in
lowest
the
was
record was 60, I think
60
68
over
over 30,
30.
30, 32, something like that. So she
Right.
was really tanking. And that's when the ER doctor came in and says, "Hey, we're going to put a central line in straight into her heart."
Heart. Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
right into your heart.
So they did that.
And then they had to put some kind of medicine in there, some kind of levo something.
Yeah. And they literally, once they had that in, they were squeezing the IV bags to get in there. And then finally, her blood pressure did start coming up.
Yeah.
But then that's when they dropped another bombshell on us.
Yeah.
That's when they started talking about, says, "Hey, just in case you know, she ain't going to be going home,
Yeah. And she can't stay here. We
and
don't
she
have
ain't going to
any
stay
care here
here.
for her.
So we're going to be looking at flying her out to another hospital."
And they wouldn't let me fly back into Arizona. They would
Yeah.
only let me
They,
fly into
I
California.
think because Blythe was in California,
Yeah.
they kept calling all these different
Cal-
hospitals over in California. And so far, the only one they found
They had a
that would
bed.
take it was in Riverside, California. So that's probably, I don't know, I think it was 100,
It's a long ways from
170
here.
miles from here.
Yeah.
And we said, "No, can there any way we can go into the Arizona hospital?"
Yeah.
Well, they supposedly attempted to call. They called Yuma. Yuma wouldn't even take transfer patients.
And they said
And
Phoenix would.
Phoenix, they called a couple of three there that
They
didn't have room.
right. Yeah, they didn't have any
So
room.
they said, "We're flying her to Riverside." So they started scheduling for the helicopter, and the ambulance had to come pick her up. The helicopter came in. The crew from the helicopter came to the hospital, and then they loaded her up in the ambulance back to the airport there in Blythe and
Yeah.
took her off in the helicopter.
Yeah, no telling how much that's gonna cost. But anyway.
Yes.
We ain't seen that bill
So
yet.
that's the other part. We weren't ready. We were
Yeah.
planning to spend 2 to 3 months here in Quartzsite. At that time, we'd only been here 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
Two or
It was
three
middle
weeks.
of January. I think it was the 18th when it happened.
Yeah, and we got here at the beginning of January.
Yeah.
We weren't planning to go back into California.
Right. And we just live on a budget right now. And so our finances were kind of like not prepared for that. And so it was like, wait, what are we going to do? It
Right.
was really like, it caught us off guard that
Yeah.
way too.
So we were trying, and the other thing we were having a lot of trouble with, this time of the year out here in California, Arizona, this is peak camping season.
Right. This is where everybody comes to snowbird.
Yeah.
So there was no openings at any of the campgrounds.
So I started looking, we wanted 1,000 trails. We didn't have to go back and spend
A few $100.
several $100s. I didn't know how long I was going to be over there to begin with.
Right.
So we were looking for 1,000 trails, and they were all booked up except for one, which was Soledad Canyon, which we've already spent 2 weeks, 3 weeks
We
there.
did 3 weeks in
3 weeks
Soledad.
in Soledad. The bad thing about that is Soledad was 80 miles from the hospital.
So he still had a really big trek.
Yeah. So she flew back on that Friday. I left here in Quartzsite Saturday.
Well, Thursday.
Or you flew out Thursday, and I
Thursday.
left Quartzsite on Friday
Friday.
to head back to California.
Right.
So,
And I thought he was going to get to come see me that Friday night, but he done drove all day. In my mind, because I'm not feeling good and not with it, I'm thinking it's a short drive. I just really didn't process how long it was going to take. And I just really needed to see him. And it just like, I needed that. But because I had surgery that morning, Friday morning, they took me back and I had a tube put into my kidney because what was happening is I had a kidney stone and it was blocking my urine from doing what it needs to do, right? It can't go out the right way. So it's going back into my bloodstream and causing me to go into sepsis and septic shock. And then it was starting that renal failure. So they put that tube in my back when I first the next day because I got to Riverside on Thursday. Friday morning, I had surgery and had that tube put in. And so then I just really needed to see him. I wasn't feeling good. I was throwing up every time they moved me from one place to another. I was getting sick. They shoved me in this little closet of a room, and the lady next door's buzzer just kept going off and off and off, and I had a really bad headache. It was a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, yeah, so he finally got to Soledad and then came on Saturday to see me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and she was in the hospital till Tuesday,
Monday.
Monday.
I got out
She
Monday.
finally got out Monday because things really turned around once she was over there, and they put that
Right.
tube into her kidney to drain out the infection.
And they put me in that second room. When I got in the
Yeah.
second room, I could sleep. It was quiet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, some of the things that we've learned from this is one, always be prepared for an emergency. You
Yeah.
never know what's going to happen.
Know where the local like facilities are and if they can accommodate you. Part of this, I wish we would have just went straight to Yuma. I know that's a 45-minute drive or hour drive. What is it to Yuma?
Yuma it's about an hour and 15
Yeah, I
minutes.
wish we'd have just done that because they had everything there and I could have just been one and done, right? And then that would have been a better fit for us. So I wish that that's what I had done.
Yeah.
But
And
hindsight, right?
yeah.
Know your
And
facilities. Kind of talk to people about the medical facilities when you're
and
in a remote area.
yeah. And then the other thing is having pets.
Yeah.
We had no idea what to do with the pets. I had to come back here, of course, take it. But I'm telling you what, I had a lot of people here that offered to babysit the pets. I
Yeah.
had people said, you know what, leave your RV here, we'll watch it. Leave your pets here, we'll take care of them,
Yeah.
and you just take the car and go back. So I didn't want to do that because then I'd have to start looking at a hotel or whatever.
Right. And
So
we were worried our dogs are just they're old. They're 14 and
they're 14 years
they're
old.
just so fickle, and when I was gone they already suffered. My little dog was going nuts cuz I wasn't coming home every day and so it was already hard enough on them without me.
Yeah.
It would have been really hard without both of us.
So yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely some things you need to think about
Yeah.
when you're out here living this life, living full time on the road.
Yeah.
Because it sure did hit us, and it hit us completely unexpected.
Right. Yeah.
So, but like I said earlier in the video, with a lot of help, a lot of support from a lot of different people, and lots of prayers,
Lots of prayers. I wish
um,
I know that that's how I got through this was through prayer.
everything turned out
Yes, and I'm doing really
for
good
the
in case
better.
you're wondering.
Yes, she's doing much better. She has her
Yes.
last doctor's appointment
On Tuesday?
Tuesday,
Yeah,
coming up
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
That's my last one,
That's
and
down in Yuma, and that's why we're heading down
we're gonna
to
stay there for a few
on
days.
Sunday tomorrow. We're heading down to Yuma to finish up her doctor's appointment, and then we're going to start making our way back east to
Yeah.
Texas, and then eventually back to our home base for a little bit in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So that's what we got coming up.
Right.
Um, just some ideas we wanted to put out there
Yeah.
to make you aware of some things you probably, if you like us, you really don't think about those things. But definitely some things we'll be thinking about from now on.
We will. And as you age, you really have to start thinking about those things too, because our bodies are falling apart when we get old, right?
That's right. And I feel it
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Right? So other than
Yeah.
that, I think we'll
Yeah.
go ahead and wrap up this video.
Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, just let us know and we'll kind of tell you our experience,
Yeah.
let you
But
know how we can help you.
we're by no means experts,
No.
but we definitely have just a little bit of experience now.
Yeah.
So we can definitely, yeah, give you whatever advice or whatever we know.
Yeah, for sure.
So other than that,
Yeah.
I hope everybody has a great day.
Yeah, and go out and find your adventure.